What's going on, guys? So in this video I actually want to talk about what it takes to be a good leader at basic training specifically, but kind of more so in the Army as a whole. So I've had a few questions about this topic. What should I do to be a good leader at basic training? What should I do to where the drill sergeants are gonna pick me to be the leader because you want to do that for some reason, because being a leader at basic is a whole lot more stressful than being just the average person who's just a regular team member at basic training. So but I mean, that kind of just goes with the territory of being a leader. But in this video I want to talk about what you should actually do, the kind of leadership attributes that you should have at basic training as a leader, so that people will respect you, people will listen to you, and kind of you'll work on yourself a little bit to become a better leader. But yeah, so the last video I made kind of talked about what it was like being a leader. This video I'm going to talk about kind of more like how to be a good leader. So something that you guys will learn if you want to do ROTC or something like that, or you may know already, but as far as the military goes, the leadership attributes and competencies that they have defined, I got them right here, so I don't really have to think and look stupid if I don't remember something. But if you want to be a leader, you have to have character, you have to have the presence, intellect, you need to lead, develop, and achieve, right? So achieving is get results. So I'm going to kind of go through this because after thinking about it, in my own opinion on how to be a good leader, and then looking at this, it's the same thing. So the Army did a good job, picking out, what you need to be a good leader in the military, and this will apply for basic training. And I'll kind of try to tie in some things with basic training with this. So number one is your character, right? You're not going to be able to be a douchebag and be a good leader at basic training. You're just not. Nobody's going to respect you. Nobody's going to want to listen to you. You're going to get into arguments and fights a lot, and you're just not going to have a good time. Now, rolling into that is having empathy. So part of having good characters, you got to have your armor values, you got to have empathy, and empathy is just basically being able to give orders and tell people to do something. So like, for example, I've probably said this before, but at one point I had to tell people to go scrub the floor in the bathrooms, right? So I had to tell some people, I needed like 3 people or something like that. I'm like, hey, you and you go scrub the floor in the bathrooms. But at the same time, whenever you give commands and orders like that, you have to have empathy for that person and understand, it sucks. You have to understand that what you're probably telling somebody what to do is not the most fun thing in the world. So something that you have to keep in mind when you're a leader at basic training is, number one, understand that it sucks. Number two, it'll probably help a lot if you go and do sucky things with them. So what I ended up doing is I went in and I scrubbed the bathroom floors with them. You had to scrub all the tiles and all the creases in between and all that stuff, and doing things like that. Just understanding, having empathy towards that person that you're trying to tell something to do, or just the whole platoon in general. Just be like, I know this all sucks, but we're gonna get through this together, and I understand what you're going through and all that stuff. So make sure you have good character, and you're not basically a douche. So the next leadership attribute is your presence. Okay, so having your presence in the military. So what is that? So one big thing is being physically fit is a part of the presence, and that kind of goes without saying. So let's say you're sitting in a room and just a normal person, he doesn't go to the gym, he's just I don't know, a little bit on the chunky side. He just walks into the room and you're like, okay, it's whatever. And then you got this really muscular, big fit guy. He walks into the room and you just look at him and you're like, dang, right? So then you have a situation where one of them tells you to do something, the other one tells you to do something. Which one are you going to probably listen to and or be scared of? It's probably the more muscular person, and it's not necessarily the scaredness of them, but people tend to take those kind of people more seriously, especially in a military environment. When you walk into a room and you're like the buffest guy in the room, like that's that presence. Whenever you, one of the things that people talk about is just literally in general, when you walk into a room, how you take command of the room. So if you're, if you have your platoon at basic training, you're the platoon leader, platoon guide, PSG, whatever the heck you want to call it. If you're that guy who's in charge of your platoon at basic training, you need to be able to take command of your platoon, and whenever you say something, they gotta listen, right? So you gotta have that military presence there for people to actually listen to you, and that's really, really big, because like I said, with character and your presence, like, you got to be able to tell people what to do, and it's not always the funnest thing in the world. The third leadership attribute is intellect. The two things I want to hit on here is mental agility and sound judgment. So being able to make good decisions quickly, that is something that's huge in the military in general, but especially at basic training, because you're going to be told to do something by a drill sergeant, and you're going to have like no time to think about it. You're just going to have to make a decision super quick. What are you going to do it now, and relay the information to the rest of your platoon. So that's something that will help you being a leader at basic training, is remembering, make a good decision, because if you make a bad decision, your platoon is not going to like it. They're not going to be happy. Then they're going to be a harder time to deal with whenever you try to tell them to do something else. So that's something to keep in mind. And just in general, mental agility is really big. So you got to be able to think on your feet, doing something. If the plan's not going your way and something changes, you got to be able to adjust to that. So at basic training, if you are the leader, the biggest piece of advice I can give you, honestly, is just make a decision. Honestly, like, above all else, just make a decision, whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision. If you're not sure what uniform to be in some uniform, then figure it out later. Because if you're all wrong, then it's fine. But if only half of you are wrong and half of you are right, then that's worse, honestly, than just everybody being the same wrong. So keep that in mind. So moving on to the leadership competencies, going on to leads and develops. I'm going to do 2 in 1 here, because I think they're fairly similar. So leads and develops, basically this is where you are actually leading others and you're developing your other soldiers. So for me, something that I did that the drill sergeants really noticed was I was trying to physically develop my fellow soldiers, and I was there helping them with PT. I was there trying to help them as much as I could personally. So that is like a form of leading them. So I'm leading them as well as developing them. So when you're at basic training, if you're the platoon leader or something like that, like, take command of your platoon, and if you see that some people are like better at something, so if somebody's really good at land nav, right, and you have a bunch of people who are sucky at land nav, try to work out that to where the good people can teach the other people who are struggling at land nav. If you have people who are PT studs, try to organize something to where the guys who are struggling at PT can work with the guys who are good at PT and kind of help them motivate each other and develop each other. And I think that's something that will set you apart from being a leader at basic training, and it's just something that people notice, right? So like, if the drill sergeant walks into the room and he sees you being selfless and helping your fellow privates or whatever, your fellow soldiers, doing something or helping them to do something to get better, then they'll notice that. And then, that'll just really help you. For all those guys who want to be a leader the whole time of basic training, that's something that'll be, points for you. And the last leadership competency is achieves. So this is basically just getting the results, doing what you said you were going to do. So that's pretty self-explanatory. So if you told the drill sergeant you're going to do this by this time and you'll be there, or like you tell all your buddies or whatever, in your platoon that you're going to do something, just do it. That's all I really have to say about that. Now, just as an overall gist of being a leader at basic training, something, a tip that I can give you guys is just remember, when you are in the leadership position in the military, don't ever treat the people who are not in leadership position like they're beneath you. It happens. Some of you guys might be like, what the heck? But, when you're a leader at basic training, you just got randomly picked, or maybe you did get picked because your PT score was like 360 or something like that, or maybe you're a specialist. Don't treat these people as if they are beneath you. So if you're telling them something to do, just understand that you are on the same level. You're both privates at basic training, and people will see that, people will respect that, and it'll be a lot easier for you to lead, because all of these things that I talked about, the leadership attributes, the competencies, having good character and empathy for your soldiers, it's really just going to make the whole process go a lot smoother, because there's going to be a whole lot less pushback. Now, you'll never be like that perfect leader. You'll never be able to make that decision where 100% of the people will agree with you. You're never going to make a decision where just everybody's all super happy with the decision, unless it's just like, I don't know, like we're just going to go to PX at basic training, which everybody will be super happy with. I mean, technically you couldn't do it, but if you're going to make a decision like that. But let's say, I don't know, you're going to wear a certain uniform. Some people may say like, it's really stupid. Why are we doing that? Or we're going to carry this stuff. This is really stupid. Why are we going to do that? But you may have your rhyme and reason to it, but not everybody's going to understand. Not everybody's going to agree with you. There's going to be people who want to, I don't know, just stir up trouble, right? So don't let that get to you. Don't let that bother you. Just, again, make your decision. Stick with your decision. Have that mental agility. So at the same time, whenever you do make a decision, if somebody else, suggests something that's a good idea, and you agree with it and you can change to that idea and change with that, definitely go for it. There's a lot of times that I've been in leadership positions, even here recently at my advanced camp. Whenever I'm the leader, I'm the PL, I'm the one in charge, and I make a decision, I'm like, right, we're going to go with this. This is what we're going to do. And then one of my buddies, who, because I've developed a relationship to where even though I'm in a leadership position, they can tell me their opinion without being scared of me, lashing back at them, being like, no, that's stupid. One of my buddies has happened multiple times, because I'm not perfect. Nobody ever makes the right decision all the time. But if they can tell you, hey, why don't we do this? Isn't this, a better way than what you just said or something like that? And they say it in a certain way to where it's not like rude or whatever. And they just say, hey, this is what you said. I think this would be a better way. Shouldn't we do that? And then you need to have, the ability to just say, yeah, that's a good idea. We're going to do that. My idea was sucky, so we're going to go with what you said. So that's something that's really big at basic training. So you're going to make a decision. If you're the leader, other people may not agree with it. They may say, this is stupid. But if they make a suggestion that is, a good suggestion, roll with that. Moving on to something that I think you guys should definitely do, that you may not be comfortable with at first, and it doesn't go against what I've said, with having empathy and stuff, but something you need to do at basic training, because people aren't going to respect you unless you're confident, unless you're really stern with them and like tell them you are going to do this. So something that you should not do at basic training, if you are a leader, is maybe you can in some situations if you only need like 1 or 2 volunteers, but don't ask for volunteers. You can say, hey, I need 5 volunteers for this, and 2 raise their hand. It's like, okay, there's those 2, and then the remaining 3 people, don't sit there and waste time waiting for 3 more people to raise their hand who are not going to raise their hand. So what you need to do, you need to be comfortable with doing this, is telling people, you are going to do this, you're going to do this, and you are going to do this. You need to be able to tell people what they're going to do, and be firm with that, and not let them say, oh, I don't want to do this, or oh, I did this last time, or oh, I've done this like 3 times in a row. Don't let that get to you. You should be, first of all, fair in who you're picking to do these duties or whatever, whether it's like sweeping or scrubbing the freaking bathroom floors. You need to be fair with who you're picking to do that, but at the same time, when you tell somebody to do it, they need to respect that. You need to be firm and not let them get away with, oh, I don't really feel like doing this right now. So that's it for this video. They always seem to go on longer than I thought. I don't know what it is, but I think a video will be like 5 minutes, and then it turns out to be like 15 minutes. So I don't know. I just talk for way too long sometimes. I don't know. Some of you guys enjoy it, but I feel like sometimes I definitely could shorten these videos up a little bit, maybe just a little bit. But anyways, that's it for this video. I kind of went over the core competencies and attributes of a leader, kind of applied it a little bit towards the basic training atmosphere. So I hope I did okay. I feel like since it's been a month since I made a video, I'm a little bit rusty again, but you guys will be the judge of that. And if you think, I don't know, I did a sucky job, let me know in the comment section. Let me know how I can do better, and that'd be great. So you got to help me develop to make these videos more just a higher quality for you guys, for all these new subscribers that I've been getting, which is like I've been getting a crazy amount of new subscribers. It's blowing my mind. So help me out in the comment section, or a direct message if you want to do that. Say, hey, you could do this to make your videos better. You could do this to make your videos better. So, or you could do this to shorten up your videos. That would be, that would be helpful, because I seem to ramble on like I'm doing right now. Yeah, because I don't know. I like talking to you guys. I like answering your questions. This is fun to me. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.